Good morning, everybody. Thought I'd give you a quick explanation of a fruit tree guild that I've made here in the food forest. So, main fruit tree here in this area is a pair of peach trees here. You can see them right there and right there. Get the trunk is hidden down here in vegetation, and so everything around this is actually to support these two peach trees. So I'll kind of show you what I've got planted here. Right here is a silky dogwood, a nice big dense silky dogwood, and underneath it you've got a pair of blueberries right there and there. There's some food, but they actually like a little bit of shade here under these peach trees. They bloom plentifully. As you can see, all the berries. Still get a nice harvest off of those despite them being in part shade here. Look how dense it is under there. Okay, very dense. And we like that density because that's creating a lot of shade at the ground level. It's keeping the soil moist, keeping the soil temperature stable and cool. But the silky dogwood does not outcompete the peach trees in height. So the peach trees win the battle for sunlight while having this nice cool root zone under here. This silky dogwood is going to drop a ton of biomass every year in the form of leaves. And every time I trim it back to keep this area open, I throw all the cuttings up under there. You also can see an American beautyberry right there. See it poking its little head out. Favorite of honeybees this time of year once it goes into bloom. And you've got your peach tree and some ground covers in here. We got this broadleaf plantain. It's like a little pokeweed coming up in there. And I want you to see if you can see the spider web here. It's right, there's spiders almost dead center of the frame moving around a little bit. That's a layer of protection from damaging pests like the plum curculio, peach tree borer. There's a second spider right there. Got an azalea, a little young azalea, and right in the middle between these two peach trees, and a cardinal. There's some wild lettuce coming up back there. An additional silky dogwood I'm going to keep trimmed to be much smaller. That's why it's so short. Right here in the middle. As a nitrogen fixer, you got a silverberry right here. I trim it pretty regularly, and it's, as you can see, it looks great. It's coming in nice and thick. And then right here we have an Asian beautyberry. Asian beautyberry is a massive favorite with the bumblebees this time of year. So we have a lot of pollinator support. We have nitrogen fixation. We have dense ground covers at the base here of the trees, keeping the roots nice and cool. Something else I'll call attention to here is this log. There's actually several massive logs right here. There's another one under my feet. There's several more that you can't see because they're covered with vegetation. They're right in there somewhere between these two trees. And there's another set of logs that's actually buried up underneath here. And the point of the logs and why we want those logs is they are water batteries. Basically, they absorb a lot of water. They put a lot of carbon back in the soil. They are a habitat for a lot of different beneficial insects. This is how forests work. They drop wood, the wood becomes a habitat, the wood becomes a key source of nutrient for the soil. It also is a hiding place for things like rove beetles and ground beetles that eat plum curculio larvae that have come out of peaches that fall underneath these trees here. I harvested, I think it was about 3 to 4 gallons of organic peaches off of that tree over there, and maybe a half gallon off of this one last year. As you can tell, they're quite young still. You can tell by the caliper of the trunks, but it's still a really good harvest. There's just so much biodiversity in here. On the far side, let's see if I can get to where I can show you. There's a large planting of mountain mint. Another huge favorite with the pollinators. Draws in a lot of beneficial insects like parasitic wasps. So, oh, there goes you probably couldn't see it. There went a green anole lizard, like lizards in here. So there's lots of life, lots of beauty, and lots of support for these peach trees. And I'll show you the other side here. Coming around the back side. We're on the bottom of this pokeweed, which we love here. Pokeweed is a friend, not a foe here. We have a pair of forsythias, super dense, drops again a lot of biomass, drops a lot of leaves. I trim it back pretty frequently to keep it the size that it is. Shades the roots here on the sunny side, so we don't ever lose a lot of soil moisture. And creates a nice cool zone for all sorts of insects, reptiles. I see there's actually somewhere under here is a black rat snake, an eastern rat snake that is I usually see him around here somewhere. I think he lives probably in this dense pocket here where the beautyberry and the silky dogwood and the forsythia all meet. A few other plants over here to round out the guild. You have a flowering quince. You have that's a snowberry. That's the host for the snowberry clearwing hummingbird moth. Arrowwood viburnum right there, and a giant American beautyberry on the back side there. So all of these plants are basically to help these two peach trees be organic. I don't spray, I don't add anything. It's just permaculture at work, and it works. Got a lot of peaches last year. Got a freeze this year that knocked it all out, but hopefully we'll be back in business next year. Just gorgeous out here this morning. Oh, some elderberries right there.